Hi, teacups. Welcome to the Brews Podcast, where the tea is always brewing. I am your girl and your host, Ginger Spice, and welcome to my couch. Guys. I am so excited. We are back with another episode. This is episode 2 of the Brews Podcast. OMG. Like, we are here. We are really doing this thing. We are really in it, packed inside, and I'm so excited. And yo, guys, I'm just happy to be back on your screens again and back in your ears. And on that note, actually, if you are listening to the She Brews Podcast on streaming platforms such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please make sure you follow the podcast and you rate me 5 stars because, like I said, I'm a 5-star girl. And if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you tell a friend to tell a friend. Your support has been astronomical. I don't think you guys understand how incredibly comforting and reassuring it was to see the incredible feedback from people who watched or listened to the pod, people who were just cheering me on. It was absolutely insane, and I genuinely feel like, oh my word, like I am really doing this thing. So I'm just super excited. Thank you guys so much for your support. More than anything, I just wanted to say thank you for your guys' support. You have no idea how much all of this means to me. You guys are helping me get closer to my goals and my dreams, and I cannot thank you enough. I am so grateful. Thank you. But right now, it is time to get into the podcast. But before we begin with today's topic, I wanted us to catch up a little bit. I wanted to talk about what's been going on around us in our little world. So yeah, I wanted to start with the first segment. I don't have a title for it yet because usually I like coming up with like cute vibey titles for things. If you've been on any of my social media, you'll notice like there's a running theme. There's Ginger, there's Uti Pagat. There's always like a running theme. Like my YouTube channel is called Ginger's Teapot. The podcast is called the She Brews Podcast. On Substack, I named my publication Sugar and Spice. Yeah, there's always a vibe, there's a theme going on here. So I haven't come up with a name for this particular segment, but for now, it is just a catch-up segment about topics that have been going around, trending on social media, or just topics that I thought we should touch on for the week. First on my list, for me, it's been a full week now since Utando Nestembu has closed their doors, basically. So season 9 of Utando Nestembu ended, and it was replaced by Londi London's show on Zanzi Magic. And there's so many people who have an uproar about that whole thing because obviously as a nation we really do love Utando Nestembu. It is such a really, oh guys, what a phenomenal reality TV show. That man, I have a lot of commentary about that man, but the show itself is incredible. I am going to miss seeing the wives on my screen. I think I watched the show because of the wives. Like, season 9 was a season. Like, it had us glued to our screen. And every time I'm on social media, Twitter's talking about it, TikTok is talking about it. Like, everyone had something to say about Utando Nestembu. So genuinely, we're going to miss the show. But I also hope Ulondi London does well because, she worked hard on her show. I don't know her like that. I've never been someone who followed her socially, you get what I'm saying? But I hope she does well for her show. I just think it was a criminal act to put her in the same time slot that Utando Nestembu took up because now the bar is set up here and people don't really care. I think people also need to understand Uti Vele season 9 was always going to end. Utando Nestembu was always going to end and come to a close at some point. Do we want more seasons? Yes. But obviously the new seasons weren't going to air immediately. So shame. I feel like Ulondi has so many things, so many hurdles ahead of her in terms of her show and such big shoes to fill. And I feel bad. I feel like she doesn't deserve that. I feel like her show would be cool. It just came at the wrong time and was put in the wrong place. And that's not her fault. But I wish her well. I hope she does well. And I want my friends and I to start watching it. I want us to have something new to talk about because you guys, I miss having something to talk about every week. And then, guys, oh my days. Grad season 2026. It's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. Guys, I'm engaged on the grad season. I actually had the pleasure of going to watch my friend graduate. And there was just something so healing about being there for her because you can tell that she really needed her people around her, and also seeing her with her family and how they were rallying around her. It was just such an incredible thing to witness, and I cannot wait until my grad. But no shame, my friend's graduation day was so cute. She looked so tea, and there was so much excitement and so much joy. but also there was so much pride in the air, seeing how everyone was so proud of her. She did it like the entire time she's bragging. She's just like, graduate in record time. And yes, she should brag because that's an accomplishment, guys. Do you know how hard university is? Some people, like it's so hard for us to even get into unis. Now we're in it. Not only are we in it, but we're thriving and we're doing well. And then we pass and we make it out on the other side with a degree. Give her flowers. Like, she deserves her props. Give her flowers. Oh my days. Not just her. Everyone who graduated this grad season. I'm so happy for you guys. I'm so proud of you guys. And you guys, like, to see the Black African child walk across those stages, there's something so powerful about that thing. There's something so powerful about that thing. We come from times where we weren't getting educated to now. We walk across the stage. Kukhala oh cum laude. Kukhala oh distinction. Oh Dean's List. Oh golden keys. Nah, shame. Black children, y'all are doing us so proud. So halala. Congratulations. Well done. The last thing I want us to talk about is Sir was in South Africa. Sir, as in Inglewood Sir, was in South Africa. Guys, first of all, shout outs. You know what? Let's start with something positive. For so many years, as a country, we were complaining that international artists do not come to South Africa. We were never on the map. Bazothi World Talk and the Leo World, Diabo, America and Europe. But now they are actually coming to other countries, and one of those other countries is South Africa. We have finally been put on the map, and artists are starting to recognize that there is a strong, passionate fan base for them here in South Africa. Now, here's the problem. I don't know whose bright idea it was to try bring all the artists and get scattered sort of. Why are they coming all at the same time? Guys, in Cyril's economy, how are you guys able to get onto the websites and sell out the tickets as they drop? How are we doing that? What is going on? What do y'all do that allows y'all to just have that cash on you? I remember Udoja, she dropped like 3 weeks before she was coming. She dropped her tickets 3 weeks before she was coming to South Africa. And guess what? People were there. They were at the concert. They were at the performance. Kanjan, kanjan. How did y'all do that? How did y'all do that? Where did y'all get the money in Cyril's economy? No shame. And you guys are so irritating because you get onto the website, go in a queue. By the time you get to the queue, you've got 15-minute time slot to buy the tickets. Like, well, I just wanted to see the price so I can budget, but I can't budget because the next time I come back, it's sold out. And it's not just international artists, it's local artists as well. It's local artists as well. Kanjak, how are you guys doing this? I feel very passionate about this topic, so I'm going to move away from it. But you guys need to relax, calm down. But also, on the flip end of that, I'm so happy you guys are getting to see your artists. Like, there were times we dreamt of these things, we dreamt of them, but now they're happening. Like, we're actively seeing international artists within our borders. Like, we're seeing them in front of us, pumpkins, and we don't have to fly overseas to see them. We're seeing them on African soil, and I love that for us. I love it so much. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Guys, Sir was in South Africa. Do you know how many artists had come to South Africa in the last couple of years? We had Kendrick, we had Travis Scott, we had Sasha Kibo, we had K-Trana. I'm crying because, guys, I didn't get to see them. I didn't get to see them because, unfortunately, under Mali. But a part of me is healed and is happy that they were here. Okay, Sasha Kibo was here, guys, and I couldn't go see her. Okay, Hlani, ubekhona naye, but I couldn't see her. Oh, but I'm glad they were here, and I'm glad that there are people that got to go and got to experience that. And I'm sure you guys, you were bouncing on the inside. But let's get back to Sir. Sir was here. He was in South Africa. But before his performance, you guys go and you basically get upset at the fact that he wanted to perform his new album. What did y'all think was going to happen? Kandi, why do you think there is a tour in the first place? They got upset and they told him they want him to perform the old song. And he clapped back. And you know what? Period. Of course, he must clap back because Nyapapa. If you didn't like the set list or the lineup, don't go and give us an opportunity to buy those tickets. How about it? How about that? But yes, guys, as a country, we genuinely need to focus. We always find something to complain about. I know I've just done it like 2 seconds ago, but as a country, we need to focus. We can't complain about everything. Inglewood Sir was in South Africa. We can't be mad at what he's performing. Obviously, he is going to perform like some of his major hits, but the tour is about the new album. And Tolukuti, your next favorite song by Sir is on the album, and you didn't know when. And he's performing a Pamkwako. Now you see what he is. Actually, I like this album very much. And on top of that, like guys, I saw the videos from his performance. As much as I didn't want to see them, and I had tried to mute anything related to Sir Once Upon a Time in Joburg, I tried to mute because I didn't want to see it. Guys, the performance seems so fire. Yeah, boy, ngesikhathi se-double iskipper. Hi. What was going on there? But generally entertaining, like that dude is a performer, and I'm so happy you guys got to go and got to see him live. But yeah, guys, we need to stop beefing with people on the internet as South Africa. Low-key, like, I don't know how I feel. Low-key, I miss a time when South Africa was unknown by the rest of the world. I'm glad that we are known because it's opened us up to so many more opportunities. But hey, to go back to when we were not known by nobody, because now South Africa is in everyone's mouth. And now everyone wants to be in South Africa. Yeah, but digital nomads. Digital nomads are pissing me off so much because how are y'all making it unlivable in our country that we are from? How? Go back to y'all's home that y'all can't live in anymore because of inflation and the economy of the world. Y'all go back because now we can't live in our home because y'all are taking up space in our home. Do you see what I'm... Yo, actually, let me digress because this topic, I could go on for hours. Y'all piss me off. But I will address y'all one day. Your digital nomads, you will be addressed. Trust. Moving on to the main segment of the podcast, we are now going to do the cookie jar topic. Basically, last time in the first episode of the podcast, I had explained that one of the reasons why my podcast, I guess, failed the first time around was because I was basing everything off of my everyday life, and all the topics were coming from what was going on around me at that specific point in time, which is great because it's impromptu, it's passionate, and it just comes off the dome, right? But it wasn't great for someone who likes structure. But now I have added structure. I have decided that every week of the podcast, every podcast episode that I record, basically, I am going to pick a topic from the jar. So all the topics that are in here were put by me, so I know it's things that I do want to talk about at some point. But basically, yes, I'm going to pick a topic from the jar and we're going to talk about it. And yeah, that's just how it's going to work. Also, I like it. It's a little bit different. I don't want to read to you guys. I don't want to read off a prepared speech. I just want to talk to you guys because at the end of the day, I want this to be a cozy place. Like, I want us to chill, relax, sit back, have a little beverage, a little tea, a little coffee, so something chill, something calm. But yes, I'm going to pick up the topic now. For today's topic, we have how much of who we are is a choice or conditioning? Okay, you know what? I need to actually think about this one. So the more I thought about the topic and the more I thought about the prompt itself, I realized there's many different ways to interpret it, because my first initial thought was the nature versus nurture conversation, which I could talk about for hours, to be quite honest, but also the prompt speaks specifically to choice and conditioning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about both of these lines of thinking, not at the same time, but I'm going to touch on both of them because I do think that they are both true and they both hold weight. But let's start with nature versus nurture. So when talking about nature versus nurture, I guess the main question that pops through my head is, are we shaped into who we are, or are we born that way? I guess that's what I'm trying to get at, basically. And what I've realized is that me personally, I am of the belief that it's both of these things at the same time. I don't think one can exist without the other, because you can be born with a specific trait, but a certain situation or something in your life is the reason why this specific trait comes out. That trait was always within you, but it was never going to manifest without these particular outside external factors, if you get what I'm saying. When we talk about nature versus nurture, we talk about basically nature is all the things that you are born with, all the things that are genetically coded into you. So that could be your DNA. You get what I'm saying? Like that pipeline, it's all natural, it's all biological. And then when we talk about nurture, we talk about conditioning and the way that you're socialized. We talk about your environment. We talk about where you are and the people around you, because where you come from is an external factor that shapes you, but also the people around you also shape you. So those are the differences between the two topics. When I think about nature, like the things that you are born with, I think about, okay, your personality, your temperament, whether you're sensitive or you're not, whether you're an introvert or you're an extrovert. I think about the way that people naturally express themselves. Those are things that are a part of you, Vele. And you can see it in little babies and you can see it in little children, specifically siblings. I think the best way to have this conversation is to talk about siblings that have the same parents, grew up in the same house, but turned out completely different from the jump. Like people have like triplets or twins or whatever. And these twins are different most. Like the parents can tell which twin is which twin because of the way that they act. Like sometimes you'll have two twin babies or triplets or whatever, and one twin is calm, the other twin is not calm, and they're babies, like they're infants straight out of the. Yo, okay, I have to keep it PG, but they are straight from the womb, very different. They like different foods. They gravitate to different colors. That's them straight out of the womb. They haven't learned anything yet. They haven't been conditioned in any specific way. They haven't been taught anything. This is just who they are at a very young age. So when we talk about nature, I think a good case study is twins or triplets or like babies that were in the same womb at the same time, basically, because you genuinely see a side-by-side comparison between the two and how they turned out and how they navigate through the world. And also, when you talk about nature, like I said, you talk about biology and things that you inherit. So those things could be like, I'll make an example with me, right? I'm trying to outgrow it, but I'm a perfectionist at heart. And I know that I get this trait from my mom, right? The whole sentence that I just said is literally this entire conversation. I am making the choice to outgrow my perfectionism, but I know that this trait, I inherited it from my mom. Even when it comes to creativity or intellect or athleticism, I think of nature because those are things that you're born with. Like, I'll make an example with my family, right? Even when we talk about creativity or intellect or athleticism, I think about nature first because those are things people are naturally born with. And you can tell with this person, you get it from home when like it's not something that you could train or something you could learn. It's something that was a part of you, really, that you were born with, and it just comes out, right? And I'll use my family as an example. I was always aware that I'm the black sheep somewhere somehow, and I stand out somewhere somehow because on both my parents' sides, like my dad's side and my mom's side, they're athletic, right? So like I know with my mom's family, they're athletic. They are runners, they are cyclists. And things like tennis, my grandfather did this, my grandfather did that. Go used to do marathons. Like I know what's okay, sharp, athletic. Even on my dad's side, like there are swimmers, there's that. Basically, they're athletic. Cool. Then you get to me, my sister, my brother. I'm not athletic, but I'm not athletic either. My sister is athletic down. Like she used to do athletics in primary. She was running around. She played a lot of sports growing up. She even did water polo in high school at some point. But like, oh my girl was sporty, right? But not sporty as in she's passionate about it and she wants to play all the time. She just could. Like she could learn anything on an athletic skill level. I even remember when we both decided to do gymnastics. So she joined gymnastics first because my dad saw her doing cartwheels in the house and was just like, natural talent, Mzukwaga. And then with me, it was because I wanted to. I saw her doing it. I was like, this is so cool. This is what I want to do. We're in the same space, but we treated it so differently. Like I knew with myself, even back then, being aware of like my body and my weight, I was just like, I'm going to have to work like 10 times harder than my sister is because my sister can naturally cartwheel, do handstands, splits. Me, when I first got to gymnastics, I couldn't do a split. So I had to train and learn how. And yeah, it's those kind of examples where I was like, yeah, no, there's a difference here. There's a difference here. Why am I not athletic like my siblings are? Because even with my brother is athletic. He likes sports and he just had better hand-eye coordination than I ever did, like just growing up. Like my brother was also one of those people that if you put him in a sports setting, he learns it quite quickly. He picks up on it quickly. Me, dude, if I cared about a sport, I have to go home after and practice on my ones just to grasp. Like, well, I loved doing sports. Like, I loved doing sports. I was in netball, I was in hockey, I was in drumming. I liked doing sports. But for the life of me, hand-eye coordination was something that I had to teach myself. It wasn't something that was in me vague, right? So when you look at those differences, I always felt like, okay, cool, black sheep type of thing. But also it made me aware that sometimes there are things that people are just born with. It's not something that you can just magically pluck out of the sky. Like some people are just naturally good at dancing. In South Africa, people think everyone can dance. Not everyone in South Africa can dance. We can't all dance. Something that I'm just grateful for is that I have rhythm. I've got rhythm and I've got a natural cadence to the way that I move my body. But I'm also aware, Ogote, I'm not by any means anywhere near a professional dancer. Moving to the nurture side of things, this is now conditioning, environment, and socialization. I think the things that fall under the nurture category are things like parenting styles, like how your parents raised you, the religion you grew up in, the culture that you grew up in. I know that relationships and friendships and love can also fall under the nurture thing. I know that trauma can fall under the nurture thing. Even like your childhood, like for example, say you grew up poor, that is something that does change you. Or if you grew up rich, that is something that changes you because it's an environmental factor. It's not something that comes from within you, I guess. Even society and the media are environmental factors that change us and they shape us into who we are. Those are not things that we're naturally born with. For example, right? The whole conversation about patriarchy. As someone who grew up with a brother and was very much a part of the raising my brother thing, I'm aware of the impact of the society on a boy child. For example, growing up, we raised my brother as a family. We raised my brother. My brother is great. Love him down. He's a great dude. He's got a good head on his shoulders, right? He goes to high school. Yo, I remember when he went to high school, it was like we had to start over. It's like we had to completely re-teach him certain things about how to speak to people, how to interact with people, the way that he thought. Because obviously, when he got to high school, he's interacting with people his age, he's interacting with friends that he likes, he's meeting new people. Clearly, there's a shift, there's something that changes. Luckily for us, he bounced back quite quickly and he still has a good head on his shoulders. But I remember the first couple of months of him in high school, it was like talking to a complete stranger. But it was also when I started to realize that it is incredibly crucial that we have tough conversations with my brother because I could smell the patriarchy around the door. Like around the corner, it's there. Because now, next thing, he becomes like, I don't know, one of those misogynistic red pill type of guys. Now, what do we do? If you pay attention, a lot of the things that I've mentioned are things that are related to either people being born or people growing up. Now, let's talk about when people are adults. This is where conditioning versus choice comes in. So, as adults, especially as young adults, we have to make choices about who we want to be and who we want to continue to be because obviously this is gonna affect the lives that we live. So me now personally, I am of the belief that all of these things coexist together. All of these things exist in tandem with one another. I don't think you can separate them from each other. So when we phrase the conversation as nurture versus nature or choice versus conditioning, I don't think the verses should be there. It should be nature and nurture, choice and conditioning, because they don't really exist without each other. Like you can be conditioned a certain way, but it's because also now you're allowing it, you're choosing this particular conditioning. So I've got a couple of questions that I had jotted down earlier when I was thinking about the topic. Number one, can people truly change? I do think people can change. There's another saying that says you can't teach an old dog new tricks, which often refers to the elderly. Or you can't change them. They will be that way until they die. I know, guys. Me personally, I believe you can change. You can change. And like on social media a while ago, there was this whole conversation of training your parents. Guys, parents can be trained. I'm not saying it's wise and results may vary, but it is possible. Like for example, I am so aware that my sister did this with my parents. So I grew up with a very strict mom and dad, and I guess they still are strict, but my sister basically trained them into, I guys, calm down. She definitely trained our parents in a respectful way though. Like she was really cutesy in the way that she did it, and I have to commend her for it because now everyone in the house kind of has a different level of freedom because she was that trailblazer in that sense. But I'm also happy that she didn't have to go through the back and forth with our parents and the fighting. And She just got freedom. She's just like, I'm doing my own thing, like singing Dala. Validly so. But I don't want people to ever have this notion in their heads that people can't change. People can change. You just have to want to change. Because I think another reason why my sister got the freedom that she had is because my mom and I, like my mom and I, but also with my dad as well, my parents and I, our constant going back and forth and our constant fighting destroyed our relationship with one another. And I think it like clicked for them. Obviously, they don't want that with all of their children. So when it came to my sister, it was an opportunity for them to fix that mistake. Does it suck that I'm the experiment child? Yes. But does this also mean that my siblings don't have to go through the same thing? Yes. So I kind of make peace with that in that regard. But back to what I was saying, people can change. You choose to change. You have to want to change. We see people change all the time. Someone out here in the streets could be a whore, and then they meet the love of their life and they change and they become better and they decide to be faithful and to be committed to them. And that's it. Then there are others who just hide behind, this is who I am, and they continue to whore around when they don't actually need to. The second question that I jotted down says, are we responsible for the traits caused by trauma? It's not our fault. Trauma is not our fault. It's things that happen to us. It's not our fault, but we are responsible in what we do with that hurt. And that's why I was saying I don't believe that a hurt person hurts other people. I think it's a choice that people make because they refuse to correct it. I know with myself, way back when, I wasn't the greatest of people. I really wasn't the greatest of people. And there was a lot of work that I had to do on myself because I was just like, yikes, I must be horrible to be around. And I worked on myself, I corrected all those things, I learned my lesson, etc., etc., etc. But at the end of the day, I had to take responsibility for it and say, yes, this bad thing happened to me, but if I'm going to continue to be a bitch about it, then I'm just continuing the cycle of hurt and I'm not healing from anything and I'm not making a difference in my own life. So, are we responsible for the things that happen to us during trauma? Yes. The traits that we pick up along the way, the coping mechanisms that we use to defend ourselves? Yes. You will end up destroying what you have in your life right now that is good and that is healthy because you are holding on to the pain of the past. I think it's good to learn from past experiences, but I also think it's good to, I don't know how to put it, but it's good to keep your head on right. Like, yes, you can go through a heartbreak with umfana and be like, I'm never gonna date again. And then every guy that comes into your life, you treat them horribly. Or you can say, sharp, fine, I will not tolerate these things in relationships because obviously this is how I got hurt the first time. But you can still continue being a decent person to people because you're like, okay, cool. Yes, that douchebag hurt me, but I don't want to be like that douchebag. Yeah, guys, you can heal, you can be better, you can deal with things differently. You don't have to be stuck in that loop of hurt. Question number 3, how much healing is unlearning? So I do think a large part of healing is unlearning the bad traits. It's unlearning what you look like in pain. It's unlearning the coping mechanisms that you built to keep you safe. Also, when you heal, you get to figure out who you are outside of survival mode, outside of your coping mechanisms, outside of your defenses. You learn you. You learn who you are at your core, your soft spots. You learn who you are underneath the surface. Last question that I had jotted down is self-awareness really enough? No. Now that I think about my earlier answer when I was jotting down the question was yes, it is, because if you're self-aware, then you can fix it. But that's the whole thing though. It's not enough because I have people in my life. I have a friend. He will actively tell me that ABC is wrong. He should not be doing ABC, but he will do it anyways, right? He's fully aware and conscious of the fact that ABC is the wrong thing to do and he shouldn't be doing it and it's not right, but he will continue to do it. And that's why I'm saying just because you are self aware and just because you know something doesn't mean you know what to do with that information and doesn't mean that you've done anything to change the situation with what you know. Guys, at the end of the day, all of this just boils down to identity. In your young adulthood and in your early 20s, one of the things that becomes really crucial to figure out is your identity. Hence why I thought it would be really cool to talk on this topic about like the foundation, I guess, of your identity. And it's important that we talk about figuring out your identity because it kind of impacts all the other things in your life. It feeds into how you show up into the world, the things you want to do, the things you want to pursue, and how you pursue those things. So it's important to realize that for a lot of people, including myself, our personalities, the way we interact with the world, honestly and truly is just our survival mechanisms decorated and disguised. And the problem with that is you can't really heal and move on from a lot of things if when you think that your defense mechanisms are your entire identity. Maybe the real you is hiding underneath all the things that you learned to protect yourself and to survive. Also, longer guys, like also by right at some point you'll be fine. Well, I feel like it's time to start wrapping up. So, on to our final segment. On my Instagram story, I posted a Google Form link, basically a place where you guys can do submissions for dilemmas, questions, suggestions, comments, whatever, and they're completely anonymous. I called it What's Brewing because I wanted that to be the name of the new segment because I wanted to find out what is brewing with you guys. I also wanted something that was interactive and engaging so that I'm just not yapping on my own here. This is a we project. It's not just myself and I. So the first one reads, "Hey Ginger, I feel like I'm drifting away from my friends because all they want to do is groove, drink, and post for Instagram every weekend. I still love them, but lately I've been trying to focus more on my mental health, saving money, and getting my life together. Now they say that I've changed and I act like I think I'm better than them. How do I handle that?" Darling, darling, I'm going to tell you something that you might not want to hear. Maybe, just maybe, that season of that friendship is over. As somebody who's gone through friendships, like I go through underwear, it sounds like very traumatic. Like that is a hyperbole, guys. I can keep friends, like long-term friends. But as somebody who's gone through like a number of friendship breakups, something I realized is genuinely when adults in your life tell you, Uguti, you keep friends for a season and not for the rest of your life, they are not lying. They are being 100% accurate and truthful. I think this season with these friends is over because you guys want different things, right? You're saying you want to focus on your mental health and saving money, but now they want to groove and drink. Already, impilos are taking you in completely different directions. But it doesn't have to be a beef situation. It could just be, oh, it's like guys, we're doing different things. But it gets a little bit tricky because it's hard to handle something like that because people can take offense really easily if you tell them, oh, you don't like their lifestyle and how they do something. It's okay to make peace with the fact that the season of this friendship is over and maybe it will allow you to open up space or room in your heart for something new to come in. It's also nice when you're looking for friendships to find friendships that have alignment because if you and your friends are aligned, it can keep you on the straight and narrow, but also it can just, make you feel like you belong somewhere. And as humans, we are social creatures. We do want to belong somewhere. So yeah, maybe you might need to consider quenching that friendship. If you do want to save it, find a compromise, find a middle ground. Okay, the next one says, "Hey girl, I'm in a relationship with someone I really love. But lately, I feel insecure all the time. Kwe. He follows a lot of girls online, rarely compliments me anymore, and sometimes makes jokes that hurt my feelings. I don't know if I'm being too sensitive or if my confidence is actually getting damaged. How do I know when a relationship is no longer healthy for you?" Yabo, hey, you see when you were first saying I feel insecure all the time, immediately no. Immediately no. Immediately no. Because now you're gonna destroy your self-esteem for a relationship. And no, girl, no, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Cut, cancel, delete, okay, no. No. The whole following girls online thing and really complimenting you anymore could just be signs that he's no longer interested. Reason why I say that, I have a couple of guy friends and they've been putting me onto game lately. Oh, see, guys start acting a particular way when they're disinterested, and this is giving that. Like, especially the part where you said sometimes makes jokes that hurt my feelings. Why is he trying to hurt your feelings? A boy that you're in love with is hurting your feelings. Namasbom? No, absolutely not. Cancel. How do you know? The fact that you are writing about this to me, a stranger on the internet, quit. My sister quit. Yeah, you might need to end it. And yeah, girl, you need to end that thing so you can start finding yourself again and restoring your confidence because you can't be walking around in this world without your confidence, please. Okay, on to the next one. Hey, Ginger, so I caught feelings for this girl. Ah, wait, are you a guy? Did I have a guy write a dilemma? I'm so excited. Oh, maybe you're gay and you date girls. Again, I don't know why I'm trying to figure you out. Anonymous. Anyway, so I caught feelings for this girl that I was friends with. We met through mutual friends and were part of this friend group, so I only knew her in group settings. I started talking to her a lot more frequently, wanting to get to know her, wanting to get to know her personally, and I thought we had a vibe going on. But then, a month later, she soft launched her boyfriend and told our friend group about him. I realized then that my chances with her were over. What should I do? I like being her friend, but my feelings are too much. This one's a tough one because no one's done anything wrong. It seems like maybe you're right and there was a vibe going on, but maybe she had a vibe going on with someone else also and they moved faster. Or maybe she didn't see you that way and there was no vibe going on because you guys were friends. So it's a really, really tricky one because sometimes ruining the friendship is worth it, but other times it's really not. And it's hard to gauge if two friends actually like each other, like the like is mutual. With what you should do, figure out how to just be her friend. Figure out how to see her platonically because if you don't figure that out, you are going to ruin that friendship with her and you are going to lose that whole friendship altogether. So now not only will you not have her as your girlfriend, you won't have her as her friend, you won't have her in your life at all. So you need to figure out a way to keep the feelings platonic. You need to find a way to move on. But also, I'm thinking of you. You don't want to sit there and have all these feelings because it will destroy you on the inside. So my suggestion is don't cancel the friendship completely. Maybe just take some space, communicate with her. Oh, I'm just going through some stuff and I need a little bit of time to myself. Take some time. I don't know what you're gonna do. You're gonna journal, you're gonna watch sad movies, eat ice cream, cry. I don't know what or how you deal with like sad feelings. But I think, yeah, take some time away. Because for me, I'm an out of sight, out of mind type of person. So I do think moving away from everything gives me a chance to collect my thoughts. But yeah, move away from everything, sort yourself out, and masure to uyabuya, usha friendship into kanjan, and you'll be so happy that you didn't ruin the friendship. Because yeah, boy, she has a boyfriend now. It's too late. It's so late. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you're going through that, friend. On to the next one. I think this is number 4, if I'm not mistaken. But let's read. I'm in grade 12 and currently my annual teacher is pissing me off. We have a test and this teacher has told us that we don't need to study for it. We also have a history test and obviously there are multiple classes for history. While I'm in consumers, 30 minutes until break and an hour before the test, this teacher decides to send the breakdown for the test. An hour before the test, she sends the breakdown. There are girls writing history, so they only got 30 minutes to actually study. Also, she didn't tell us what booklets we needed, so it made it really hard to find what I needed to learn. Okay, I'm guessing this has already happened. So, like, the whole thing has already unfolded. There's nothing I can say to turn back time and for you to be able to deal with it. But what I want to say going forward, especially because you guys are in matric and matric is such a crucial time, go to your teacher, communicate to them. Because please, as a belief, in the future, please give us breakdowns and things ahead of time because obviously now we're unprepared. And also, you unfortunately are not the only subject that I need to focus on. I think in high school, teachers used to take a piss with that. Like, genuinely, you'd have teachers that believe that their subject is the only crucial subject. Lapo, you're doing, like, in grade 8 and 9, you're doing like 13 subjects. And then in grade 10 to 12, you're doing 7. Some people used to do 8. I don't know how they did that, but you're doing 7. But everything counts for a lot. No, guys, we can't Like, we can only do so much and handle so much. I think the best way for you to go about this in the future, talk to your teachers. I'm not saying it's going to necessarily help because they might not respond great, but talk to your teachers. I think, yeah, talk to them, be like, ma'am, thank you so much for teaching us, ne? But please, like, for our sake, please don't do that, because on the day that you did this particular thing, we had this test that we're writing for history. Now we couldn't focus on. Also, my LO teacher, girl, for LO, yeah, no, you can figure it out for LO. I'm not saying that it's great because in LO you do write essays as well, but like in LO you can kind of work around something. I'm not saying that you're supposed to or that's what is expected of you, because genuinely that is a mistake. But for LO, you can figure something else. You'll be great. So yeah, I think just talk to your teacher and hopefully it works out. I'm so sorry going through that, Pookie. And yeah, let's hope that works out. So someone sent in podcast topic ideas, right? And I wanted to not answer each topic, but I wanted to touch on the things that they had mentioned that they wanted me to talk about, because I think I want to dedicate specific podcast episodes to these particular things. Like, a lot of these suggestions are eldest daughter related. Like, one of them says, how do you stay soft and emotionally open while life has forced you to become strong too early, especially as an eldest daughter? How do eldest daughters navigate vulnerability when they're so used to being dependable, being the dependable one for everyone else? Yeah, like all of these have a central theme. So either it's for eldest daughters or it's about keeping yourself together for everyone around you. Kanti, you want to fall apart type of thing. I will touch on these. I will unpack these. I will talk about these. These are important. And especially as an eldest daughter, I genuinely feel like these are topics that are passionate to me. But I want to dedicate a proper episode to them. I don't want to talk about them now. But yeah, we have arrived to the end of the podcast episode, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and I hope you guys learned a lot. I know I yapped for like a long time. So hopefully you guys actually made it to the end of this podcast episode. But to the people who are still here, that are still listening and still watching, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I literally cannot wait to hear from you guys next time. Like, the feedback was so insane. Like, it felt like crack. Okay. But yo, guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the future of this pod. And thank you guys for your support and Jay for rallying around me. It genuinely makes my heart flutter knowing that other people believe in this project as much as I do. Before I go, just a little reminder, if you are listening on streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please make sure you follow the podcast and you rate it 5 stars. And if you are watching on YouTube, please make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you tell a friend to tell a friend. And I have not forgotten about the people who listen on Substack. There's one or two of you. Shock and game Ninjani. You guys already know what to do. You like and you restack and you tell people and you share and you do all the wonderful things. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will catch you guys next time. Keep on brewing, my teacups. Mwah. Bye.